Here unfolds a veritable Iliad of digital drama, a Homeric odyssey of intrigue, interpersonal schisms, and the Byzantine entanglements of parasocial parasitism in the amphitheater of Twitchonian gladiatorial combat.
She's literally in the process of litigation. This notably has been shared by Destiny's ex-wife Melina, as well as Lonerbox, who is stated to be Pixie's boyfriend and recently announced he would be leaving streaming. Lonerbox had been friendly with Destiny before. Yes, Lonerbox, I did not know any of this stuff, but people were, Bad Empanada had said like, oh, Destiny Lonerbox or whatever when he was dating Pixie. It turns out that wasn't the case, but it does turn out that Lonerbox, I think, found out that Pixie had actually had sex with Destiny in the past, while still being a orbiter of Destiny. By the way, when I say orbiter of Destiny, you might be thinking like I'm disparaging these people, but the saddest reality is that they called themselves the orbiters of Destiny. It is definitely a cult, okay? It operates exactly like a cult. So that's called themselves that, just so you understand. I know that it was a big story that Lonerbox supposedly left the online space because of me or something, but that seemingly wasn't the case. It seems like this also played a role in him leaving the commentary community or something. Okay? After this, all of this stuff was like circulating, because I remember seeing Melina, Destiny's ex-wife, coming out and stating in a stream that she had not consented to Destiny revealing these tapes to random people. Okay? Just so you understand. And I thought it was strange because everyone was talking about whether or not, I thought it was strange that people were talking about whether or not Destiny, it's Nicholas Fuentes' people, but I never fully understood how this information was revealed at the time. And I did not talk about it as much because I didn't understand if it was like revenge or what was going on. If you remember at the time, I didn't understand how this information had leaked in general. Okay? Well, it turns out he was sending this stuff to random people to try and them, like a resume, and one of the people inevitably leaked it. Either they directly leaked it, or their friend leaked it, or they got hacked and it got leaked. But it should have never been distributed inappropriately, even in private correspondence anyway.
In this confounding epic, we chronicle the labyrinthine unraveling of friendships, the acrimonious dissolution of allegiances, and the somber retreat of one Lonerbox from the orbit of the enigmatic, ever-polarizing Destiny. This tale is not merely one of digital personalities colliding in the cybernetic ether. It is a chimerical expose of human frailty, power asymmetries, and the Sisyphean absurdity of our modern parasocial landscape. Let us set the stage. A grand digital proscenium where power players such as Hasanabi, Destiny, and their motley assemblage of orbiters, both voluntary and circumstantial, exchange volleys of discourse that oscillate between the profound and the utterly profane. Among these orbiters, one Lonerbox emerges, a tragic figure whose story weaves together threads of erstwhile camaraderie, bruised trust, and the irreparable ruptures wrought by digital dissonance. His departure from Destiny's sphere and the circumstances surrounding it bear all the trappings of Greek tragedy, replete with betrayal, catharsis, and inexorable doom. The tale begins with whispers of clandestine tapes, shared under the pretext of private correspondence, yet fated to find their way into the public domain like Pandora's proverbial box. Destiny, known for his polarizing rhetoric and Machiavellian maneuvers, is revealed to have disseminated sensitive information to third parties, a gambit ostensibly tactical, but in retrospect catastrophically myopic. These tapes, laden with the weight of personal revelation, find their way into the public sphere, igniting a conflagration that engulfs not only Destiny, but also those within his gravitational pull, including his then-wife Melina and the increasingly disillusioned Lonerbox. Lonerbox, whose online persona had hitherto been synonymous with incisive commentary and measured rhetoric, finds himself thrust into the epicenter of this maelstrom. It is revealed, much to his dismay, that his partner Pixie had been ensnared in Destiny's orbit, a fact that, while ostensibly innocuous, takes on a sinister hue in the context of the tape's dissemination. The revelation fractures the tenuous bonds of trust that underpin parasocial ecosystems, exposing the inherent fragility of relationships forged in the crucible of digital performance. What compounds the tragedy of Lonerbox's departure is not merely the betrayal he perceives, but the broader implications for the ecosystem he leaves behind. The Orbiters of Destiny, a self-designated collective whose name evokes both celestial wonder and cultic insularity, operate within a framework that mirrors the dynamics of a religious sect. Here, allegiance is sacrosanct, dissent is heretical, and the lines between personal loyalty and professional obligation blur into obfuscation. To extricate oneself from such an environment is to commit a form of social apostasy, a departure that invites both vitriol and vindication in equal measure. In the aftermath of the tape's leak, the discourse descends into an inferno of recrimination and counter-recrimination. Destiny, for his part, defends his actions with the tenacity of a sophist, invoking the lexicon of utilitarianism to justify what many perceive as a breach of ethical propriety. Lonerbox, meanwhile, retreats from the public eye, his disillusionment palpable. He cites not Hasanabi, as some have speculated, but rather the cumulative weight of parasocial toxicity and interpersonal duplicity as the impetus for his departure. His exit marks not merely the end of an era, but a harbinger of the existential questions that continue to plague the digital agora. The saga takes an even darker turn with the involvement of Melina, Destiny's ex-wife, whose denunciation of the tape's dissemination adds another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. She alleges that her consent was neither sought nor given, a revelation that casts a long shadow over the ethics of the entire ordeal. Her public statements resonate with the timbre of a Cassandra-like figure, her warnings about the perils of such actions unheeded until the damage is irrevocable. The ramifications extend beyond the individuals involved, serving as a cautionary tale for the broader community about the perils of parasocial entanglements and the ethical minefields of online discourse. To comprehend the magnitude of this debacle, one must examine the peculiar dynamics of parasocial ecosystems. In these spaces, the boundaries between the personal and the performative dissolve, creating a liminal zone where authenticity is both currency and camouflage. Destiny, as a central figure in this ecosystem, wields a disproportionate influence, his charisma and rhetorical prowess elevating him to the status of a digital demagogue. His orbiters, meanwhile, are caught in a paradoxical bind. They are both agents of their own volition and pawns in a larger game, their autonomy subsumed by the gravitational pull of their chosen idol. Lonerbox's departure, therefore, is not merely a personal decision, but a tectonic shift in the landscape of Destiny's orbit. It exposes the inherent vulnerabilities of a system predicated on hierarchical allegiance and underscores the psychological toll exacted on those who inhabit such spaces. His retreat from the digital sphere serves as both an indictment of the parasocial paradigm and a poignant reminder of the human cost of online engagement. In the grand tapestry of this drama, Hasanabi emerges as both observer and participant, his commentary on the unfolding events serving as a counterpoint to Destiny's rhetoric. Hasanabi, whose own community operates under a markedly different ethos, offers a lens through which to scrutinize the ethical failings of his counterpart. His critique is not merely a condemnation of Destiny's actions, but a broader indictment of the culture that enables such transgressions. By juxtaposing his approach to community building with that of Destiny, Hasanabi illuminates the stark contrast between their respective paradigms, offering a vision of digital engagement that prioritizes empathy over exploitation. Yet, even as Hasanabi critiques the parasocial pathologies of Destiny's orbit, he is not immune to the challenges that plague the digital agora. The departure of Lonerbox serves as a sobering reminder of the limitations of even the most well-intentioned communities. It underscores the need for a recalibration of the norms and expectations that govern online spaces, a shift that prioritizes the well-being of individuals over the demands of the collective. In conclusion, the saga of Lonerbox's departure from Destiny's orbit is a multifaceted drama that encapsulates the complexities of parasocial relationships, the ethical dilemmas of digital engagement, and the human cost of online discourse. It is a tale that defies simplistic categorization, offering instead a rich tapestry of interconnected narratives that reflect the broader challenges of our digital age. As we navigate these uncharted waters, let this story serve as both a cautionary tale and a call to action, a reminder of the need for empathy, accountability, and a renewed commitment to the principles of ethical engagement. For in the end, it is not merely the actions of individuals, but the culture of the communities they inhabit that will determine the future of our digital agora.